I lost my mind. I was only drunk because I didn't have no food. Nobody cared that I didn't have food. Y'all just kept giving me Patron. I didn't have any food all night long, and I paid all the money for that food. Hey, y'all. I was a mess. I don't even care. Huh?
Is your food here?
Oh, they about to walk in. I'm opening up gifts. I should have at least laid that down. You know, where the Joe? Huh? Gift cards. All right, so listen.
150 on here.
I'll wait for more people to come on.
Mom, for real.
It's 150 on that gift card.
Mom.
Listen. The party list.
Give me that card.
The kids taking all my gifts. The party list from this year is going to stay the same. We going to invite them same people back. Like, we don't even want no new people there.
Oh, give me that. I need that.
It's not.
$100 on here.
Come on, Robbie.
Demi, come here.
I'm opening up gifts.
Come down.
I'm back home.
How could something so terrible happen in a place people trust to make them look good? Tiffany Wade, a 40-year-old woman, was shot and killed inside a barbershop on October 7th, 2023, in North Philadelphia. But what led to her death? What could drive someone to commit such an act? This is the story of what happened that day. On October 7th, 2023, Tiffany Wade entered a barbershop in North Philadelphia around 1:48 p.m. It was just another day. Tiffany sat down and waited for her turn to get her hair cut. She was in the barbershop, surrounded by other customers, when a man entered. The man walked into the shop with no one noticing anything unusual at first. He then approached Tiffany, pulled out a firearm, and shot her twice, once in the chest and once in the head. Tiffany collapsed immediately.
A suspect in connection with a deadly shooting inside a North Philly barbershop. 44-year-old Armand Hilton is wanted for murder, robbery, and related charges. Police say he shot and killed Tiffany Wade inside a barbershop on Lehigh Avenue on Saturday afternoon. Investigators say Hilton opened fire inside the barbershop, hitting Wade in her torso and head. She died at the scene. Hilton is considered armed and dangerous.
And the people inside the barbershop quickly realized something was wrong. They called 911, but Tiffany was declared dead shortly after paramedics arrived. The barbershop, once a place of relaxation, became a crime scene. Tiffany Wade was a 40-year-old woman from Coatesville, Pennsylvania. She was known by those who love her as a friendly, caring person. She had no known enemies or conflicts. She lived her life like anyone else and had a family, friends, and a job. No one expected her life to end so violently. Before her death, Tiffany had no reason to believe that someone would harm her. She was a regular customer at the barbershop and had no known connections to anyone who might want to hurt her. The shooter was identified as Armand Hilton, a 44-year-old man from Chester, Pennsylvania. He was not known to Tiffany or anyone else in the barbershop. Hilton entered the shop, approached Tiffany, and shot her without any apparent reason. After committing the crime, he fled the scene. Witnesses were unable to provide much information about Hilton or his motives. Hilton had a criminal history, but at the time of the shooting, it was unclear why he targeted Tiffany. No one inside the barbershop knew him, and there was no clear motive for the murder. Hilton had been previously involved in criminal activity, but it was still uncertain whether Tiffany had been a random victim or there was a connection between her and the shooter. After the shooting, the police immediately began their investigation. They secured the barbershop, gathered evidence, and spoke to witnesses. Security cameras from the barbershop were reviewed, and Hilton was identified as the shooter. The police then issued a manhunt to find him. As of now, Hilton was considered armed and dangerous. Authorities released information about Hilton, asking the public for help in locating him. A reward was offered for any information that led to his arrest. The community was shaken by the murder. Barbershops are supposed to be safe places for people to relax and socialize. Tiffany's death raised questions about safety in the area. While the investigation continued, no answers have been found regarding why Hilton targeted Tiffany. The police continued to search for Hilton, but his whereabouts remained unknown. The motive behind the crime was still unclear, and the investigation continued with no clear answers. As of the latest reports, Hilton had not been captured. Authorities were actively working to track him down. The case remains under investigation, and the community continued to seek answers. Tiffany Wade's murder is still a mystery, and the question remains, why was she targeted and what was the reason behind her death? If you enjoy real crime stories that uncover the truth, don't forget to subscribe. Your support helps us share real cases, spread awareness, and give a voice to those who can't speak for themselves. Before we begin, let us know in the comments, where are you watching from? And what are your thoughts as the story unfolds? Welcome to True Crime Tales, where we reveal the crimes that shock communities and the secrets hidden behind closed doors. These are real people, real events, real consequences. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Now let's begin. Tiffany Wade was a woman from Philadelphia, a large city known for its rich history and diverse community. Although she lived in a bustling city, Tiffany was not someone who liked to be in the spotlight. She was known for being a quiet and private person. Tiffany didn't seek attention or fame, but she was respected and liked by the people who knew her. Tiffany grew up in Philadelphia, a city that she always called home. She was born into a loving family, but she didn't come from a family of wealth or fame. Her childhood was similar to many others. She spent time with family and friends and went to school just like other kids. Tiffany was a simple person who valued her family, and she didn't expect much more than a peaceful life. As she grew older, Tiffany worked hard and did her best to make a living. She didn't want any drama in her life and just tried to be content with what she had. Tiffany had a close family, but she wasn't the type to share her personal life with everyone. She was a daughter, a sister, and a friend. Although she kept many parts of her life private, her family members describe her as someone who truly cared for those she loved. She had a strong connection with her parents, siblings, and close friends, even though she didn't speak about them often. Her family was important to her, and she would do anything to help them when they needed it. Tiffany had a soft spot for the people closest to her, and she always tried to show that she cared, even if she didn't talk about it much. She wasn't a flashy person, but the people who knew her well knew she was dependable and loving. Tiffany led a very normal life. She wasn't involved in anything dangerous or criminal, and she didn't have any problems with the law. Like many people, she worked hard to make sure she could pay her bills, buy food, and take care of her responsibilities. She had a job, and she did it well. Tiffany wasn't someone who sought attention or tried to make her life seem more exciting than it really was. She went to work, ran errands, and spent time with her family and friends. Tiffany was an ordinary person. She wasn't rich or famous, but she was content with her life. She enjoyed the small things, like spending time with people she cared about and living in a place where she felt comfortable. Her days were routine, and she didn't expect anything extraordinary to happen. Her life wasn't filled with drama or big events, which was just the way she liked it. Those who knew Tiffany often described her as friendly and approachable, but also private. She wasn't the type to share too much about her personal life with others, but she was always kind and willing to help those around her. Tiffany didn't seek attention, but she was dependable when people needed someone to rely on. She wasn't a party goer or someone who liked to be the center of attention. Instead, she preferred quiet time with her family and friends. Tiffany's calm and laid-back personality made her someone people trusted and enjoyed being around. On October 7th, 2023, a tragedy occurred in a small barbershop in North Philadelphia that would leave many people shocked and confused. Tiffany Wade, a 40-year-old woman, was shot while she was at the barbershop. She had come in like she normally would.
Find a suspect in connection with a deadly shooting inside a North Philly barbershop. 44-year-old Armand Hilton is wanted for murder, robbery, and related charges. Police say he shot and killed Tiffany Wade inside a barbershop on Lehigh Avenue on Saturday afternoon. Investigators say Hilton opened fire inside the barbershop, hitting Wade in her torso and head. She died at the scene. Hilton is considered armed and dangerous.
Stop trying to get back to the old you. She doesn't exist anymore. What you've been through, what you've experienced has changed you. You're different now. You're wiser, you're much smarter. You understand people differently now. Your worldview has changed. You're also not into the same things anymore. Different things excite you now, like expanding your creativity and connecting with God, and expressing yourself out loud is now freeing. You are not the same person anymore. You've changed and you've grown. You are a whole new you, and it's time you start to accept her. Trust me, she's super cool.
Expecting to spend some time getting her hair done and chatting with friends. But what happened next was unexpected. A man came into the shop and attacked her without any warning. The crime left everyone at the scene in disbelief. How could something like this happen in such a public place, a place where people thought they were safe? The question on everyone's mind was, who could do something like this? Tiffany wasn't alone at the time of the attack, but the shooter only targeted her. As the police began their investigation, they quickly identified the suspect, Armand Hilton. Armand was a 44-year-old man from Chester, Pennsylvania. Authorities believed he was responsible for crime, but the big question was, why would he do this? Was there any connection between Armand and Tiffany, or was it just an act of random violence? Armand and Tiffany were not strangers to each other. In fact, they had known each other for a few years before the tragic incident. Although not much is known about how they first met, it is believed that their paths crossed through mutual friends in Philadelphia. Some people who knew them said that Armand had developed feelings for Tiffany, but Tiffany did not feel the same way. She was not interested in him romantically. There were rumors that Armand became obsessed with Tiffany. He may have wanted something more than just a friendship with her, but Tiffany was clear that she only saw him as a friend. She wanted nothing more to do with him. Armand, however, did not seem to accept that. Friends and family members later shared that Armand had a history of being jealous and controlling. He didn't like it when things didn't go his way, and it's believed that Tiffany's rejection of his feelings made him angry. Over time, his feelings for her may have turned to resentment, and this built up until it led to the tragic confrontation. The attack that day in the barbershop was no random act. Tiffany's decision to keep her distance from Armand likely pushed him over the edge. While we don't know everything that happened between them, it's clear that there was a personal connection that played a big role in the event. Armand's feelings for Tiffany, combined with his jealousy and anger, may have led him to commit this violent act. In the aftermath of Tiffany's death, people were left with many questions. Could this tragedy have been avoided? Could Tiffany have known the risks of being around someone like Armand? Some believe that if she had known how dangerous Armand's jealousy could become, she might have taken steps to protect herself. But the truth is, no one can really know what might have happened if the situation had been different. All that remains now are the questions of why and how such a senseless act could occur. What do you think happened between Armand and Tiffany? Why do you think Armand became so angry with Tiffany? Could this have been prevented if Tiffany had known the risks? These are important questions that may never have clear answers, but they remind us of the importance of understanding the people we come into contact with and how certain actions can lead to irreversible consequences. Tiffany's death serves as a tragic reminder of the need to recognize warning signs in others and the importance of staying safe. Her story is not just about the attack in the barbershop. It's about the dangers of obsession, jealousy, and unrequited love. It's about the people who are left behind to try and make sense of a world that doesn't always make sense. After Tiffany Wade's tragic death, the police began a big search to find the person responsible. The man they were looking for was Armand Hilton, the person who had shot Tiffany in the barbershop. The police were worried because they didn't know if he might hurt someone else, so they worked hard to find him. They called it a manhunt, which means searching for a person who has done something wrong. The police wanted to make sure that Armand Hilton didn't hurt anyone else, and they wanted to bring him to justice. The crime shocked the people in the neighborhood. Everyone was surprised and confused about how something like this could happen in such a busy place, like the barbershop. People in the community had a lot of questions. They couldn't understand why Armand would do something like this. Tiffany wasn't a bad person. She didn't hurt anyone. She was just going to the barbershop like she always did. So, it made no sense to them that someone would take her life. The people in the community, her family, and even strangers were left grieving and asking why this happened. They wanted answers, but it took time for police to find out who did it. Tiffany's family and friends were heartbroken after her death. They couldn't believe what had happened to her. Tiffany was just like any other person, living her life and trying to be happy. She didn't deserve to be hurt. Her family kept asking why. Why did this happen to her? What did she do wrong? But the truth was, She hadn't done anything wrong at all. Her family wanted justice for her, but they also wanted to know why Armin had done this to her. They needed answers, just like the rest of the people in the neighborhood. While the police worked on the case, they got closer to finding Armin Hilton. They followed leads, checked clues, and kept searching for him. They knew that catching him was important, so they didn't give up. Finally, after weeks of searching, the police were able to find Armin. He was arrested and taken into custody. The authorities knew that finding him was a big step toward getting justice for Tiffany. Once Armin Hilton was arrested, the case started moving toward a trial. This meant that Armin would go to court to answer for what he had done. In court, a judge and jury would decide if Armin was guilty or not. This was an important moment because it was a time when the truth would come out and Armin would have to face the consequences for his actions. Would he be punished for what he did? Would he be held responsible for taking someone's life? The people in the community, Tiffany's family, and even strangers were waiting for answers. As the trial date got closer, many people asked themselves what justice really meant. Justice is when someone who does something bad is held accountable for their actions. It's about making sure that the person who did something wrong faces the right consequences. People wanted to know if justice would be done for Tiffany. Would Armin Hilton be punished for what he did? Would he have to face the consequences of taking Tiffany's life? This was something everyone was wondering. How would you feel if you were in Tiffany's family's shoes? Would you be sad, confused, or angry? What does justice mean to you? Do you think it's important to make sure people are held responsible for their actions? Do you think Armin Hilton will face justice for his crime? Should he be punished for what he did? Tiffany was a simple woman with a quiet life. She worked, paid her bills, and spent time with her family and friends. She wasn't involved in anything dangerous. Tiffany was known for being friendly and kind, but she didn't like the spotlight. She kept to herself mostly. Tiffany had a family who loved her, and she was close to them. People who knew her never expected something like this to happen. She wasn't the kind of person you would think would be involved in a violent situation. So, what could have made someone take her life? What was the reason for her death? It wasn't a random event. There was more behind the crime. This story leaves us with many important questions. Could this crime have been prevented? Could Tiffany have done something differently to avoid the situation? The sad truth is, we don't always know when someone will turn violent. Armin Hilton was someone Tiffany didn't know would hurt her, but he did. This shows us that violence can happen anywhere, even to people who are just going about their everyday lives. Sometimes, we think that bad things only happen to people who are involved in something dangerous. But this case shows that it's not true. Tiffany wasn't involved in anything bad, yet she was the victim of a terrible crime. It can happen to anyone, anywhere. This is why we need to be aware of our surroundings and take care of each other. We should always watch out for the people we love and make sure they are safe. Now, we want to hear your thoughts. What do you think about this case? Was it a random act of violence? Or do you think there was a deeper reason behind it? How do you think we can prevent something like this from happening again? If you were the police, what would you have done to catch the killer faster? How do you think the community can help keep everyone safe? These are questions we must all think about. We never know what may happen, but by being aware and staying safe, we can protect the ones we care about. Let's all make an effort to look out for each other. What are your thoughts on this case? Do you think Tiffany's tragic death could have been avoided? Could there have been warning signs that people missed? Do you believe that violence like this can be stopped before it happens? Or is it something we can't always predict? Let us know your opinions in the comments below. We really want to hear what you think about the circumstances that led to this shocking crime, and whether you believe there was anything that could have been done differently to prevent it. If you found this story intriguing and want to learn more about true crime cases like this, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. By subscribing, you'll stay updated with our latest videos that dive into the details of real-life mysteries, criminal investigations, and stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat. We appreciate your support and your engagement. Together, we can continue discussing these important topics and raise awareness about the safety of our communities. Stay safe, stay aware, and always look out for each other. If you found this story as gripping and heartbreaking as we did, don't forget to like this video and share it with others. And if you want to hear more true crime stories that uncover the mysteries behind these tragic events, Make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell. You won't want to miss our latest stories, updates, and discussions. Thank you for joining us on this journey to seek justice and explore the truth. Together, we can make a difference. Until next time, stay safe and stay aware.